Hi, I'm Sharik, the South Asian attorney. Today, I want to talk about continuous residence requirement for naturalization and how it may relate to travel abroad. Applicants for naturalization must demonstrate 5 years of continuous residence requirement, or 3 years if married to a US citizen. So, what does residence mean? It's basically a person's home or where a person lives. So this means that it's not enough to just rent property or own property. You actually have to live there also. So now to the main point, how does the requirement for continuous residence relate to travel abroad? Depending on the length of the trip, travel outside the US can actually disrupt continuous residence requirement. Travel abroad is divided into 3 categories. Trips abroad for 6 months or less, trips between 6 months and a year, and trips that are 1 year or more. In most cases, trips abroad for 6 months or less do not disrupt continuous residence requirement. However, if you have multiple absences of 6 months or less, USCIS will review your application. They are just checking if you actually live in the US. I will say though that they will rarely deny your application. However, it is possible. To avoid denial of application, provide evidence of residence in the US. Evidence may include pay statements showing employment in the US, US bank statements and credit card statements, rental agreements or proof of ownership of residential property, absence of job abroad, tax returns, and car registration and insurance proof. So it's very important that you do not list a foreign address as your residence during this period. However, if you do have to list a foreign address, make sure to list a US address for the same period. USCIS presumes that trips for more than 6 months but less than a year disrupt continuous residence requirement. So you must overcome this presumption. You must prove to the USCIS that your trip was temporary and that you still have ties to the US. Evidence may include pay statements showing employment in the US, US bank statements and credit card statements, rental agreements or proof of ownership of residential property, presence of immediate family members in the US, absence of job abroad, tax returns, and car registration and insurance proof. If you're not able to overcome this presumption, however, then you have to reestablish a new period of continuous residence. Trips abroad for 1 year or more will break the continuous residence requirement. There are a few exceptions to this rule. If you do not fall within this exception, you must reestablish a new period for continuous residence. As always, if you have questions, you can call me, email me, or schedule a consultation.